Hey everyone, welcome back.
Hello, hello. Today is August 21st, and we're going to talk about don't be miserable in advance.
Okay.
That's really difficult to do. Okay, Seneca, he says, it's ruinous for the soul to be anxious about the future and miserable in advance of misery, engulfed by anxiety that the things it desires might remain its own until the very end. For such a soul will never be at rest. By longing for things to come, it will lose the ability to enjoy present things. This one's hitting hard.
You want to go and break it down and then or talk about it in a certain way?
He's saying it's ruinous for the soul to be anxious about the future. I mean, that's what anxiety is. It's like something hasn't happened yet. I'm worried it's going to go this way. And
Yeah, the depression is about the past and anxiety is about the future, right? Something like that, yeah.
And so when he's saying ruinous for the soul, like that's hitting really hard because there's so much anxiety. There's anxiety in my life. There's anxiety in your life. I'm assuming. I'm just saying that based off of the fact that we live together. But then there's like anxiety in all of every person I know, every person I'm close to. There's just like this worry of what's it gonna be like?
Yeah, that's very focused on the future, yeah.
He's like
And
by
not on the present moment, essentially.
by longing for things to come, it will lose the ability to enjoy present things.
Yeah, because yeah, the more we are reminiscing about past or thinking about future or planning for future or something or
It's
worrying about the future, the less we can actually enjoy this life, because we're like and then we're all in those two spots, past or future, and none of that we can actually do anything about. Like stuff that passed already, like this is what we can't get through our heads or something. Even if we understand it, even if someone says no, you cannot change the past, you can not affect the future very much, right? We still are like obsessed by trying to change those things. Like we're like blinded by wanting to change the past and or the future, and we are oblivious of what's happening right in front of us during these present moments, whatever that present moment represents, as far as a time frame, and I do it too. It's not that like I'm just saying, oh, all of these people are doing it. No, we are all like this. For some reason, we are super addicted to the future and the past. Maybe because it's like we can dream it or something, right? So it's like if we can dream it, and it's like fun to think about it, and then we're like, well, because I dreamed it, it's gonna happen. Like, and that's when we're making a terrible misjudgment in that, like, no, that's not gonna happen just because we dreamed it in our minds.
Yeah, you're talking
There's-
about a wishful thinking of you want something good to happen. But he's like, this anxiety is just like, I'm worried about this. Like, I'm like I'm clasping onto it, and like that is definitely a component of it too, like
well, yeah,
the
because
wishful
it's like
thinking
it's like
aspect of it.
yeah, because from that wishful thinking becomes the worry that it will not happen the way you wishful think it.
Yeah.
So this is I'm saying we're spending too much time in those two camps, you know.
It's like there needs to be acceptance for the way things are.
Mm-hmm. And it's easy to just say maybe like, oh, it's yeah, I accept it, but then instantly we turn around and we're somehow annoyed or somehow frustrated or sad or something, some sort of a reaction to the what's going on, right? AKA we want something else, even though we say internally, yeah, we know how it is, yeah, I know what I need to do, but it's like hard to actually do. Yeah.
I'm ready to move on to Ryan. Okay, Ryan says, the way we nervously worry about some looming bad news is strange if you think about it. By definition, the waiting means it hasn't happened yet, so that feeling bad in advance is totally voluntary. But that's what we do, chewing our nails, feeling sick to our stomachs, rudely brushing aside the people around us. Why? Because something bad might occur soon. The pragmatist, the person of action, is too busy to waste time on such silliness. The pragmatist can't worry about every possible outcome in advance. Think about it. Best case scenario. If the news turns out to be better than expected, all this time was wasted with needless fear. Worst case scenario. We were miserable for extra time, by choice. And what better use could you make of that time? A day that could be your last. You want to spend it in worry? In what other area could you make some progress while others might be sitting on the edges of their seat, passively awaiting some fate? Let the news come when it does. Be too busy working to care. I like that solution he puts in the end. Be too busy working to care. Because there is some, like, to be worried about something is to, like, put my productivity on hold, to say, no, I'm gonna bookmark that for the time being.
I have to worry about this thing.
I can't go do that thing.
Yeah.
And then conversely, the more that I am in the productivity phase, in like a sustainable way, like not when I'm like burning myself out or something like that, but the more that I'm in that, the less it even makes sense to worry, because there's more of this like bias toward action and just like, well, no, I'm gonna get the next thing done. Now there's a new thing to do. And like none of this is unfolding magically and perfectly how I wanted it, but I have the skills to pivot here and adjust here based on what's happening, and I have my focus in the right area of like, let's do this and not like sit and worry about the thing that's gonna happen. So I definitely can see what he's saying there with like, be too busy, because we really like, a lot of our busyness comes from worry. Like worrying about things makes me feel busy, makes me feel rushed and busy, and I don't have time for anything because I'm putting shit on hold because I'm too busy worrying about things. So the list of things to do that I'm putting off just becomes bigger and bigger. And so it feels like I don't have enough time. It feels like I'm moving as fast as I can already. But like if I really objectively stand back and look at that pattern, it's like, no, I'm procrastinating because I'm worrying about something.
Yeah, like you're procrastinating because of worry. Yeah, because it's funny because people think that procrastination is side of laziness, and laziness is a choice. We choose to be lazy because we just don't care. We're just it's all coming from this mean attitude of don't give a shit. But so many people miss that we're actually, like, people are procrastinating because they're terrified to go to the next step, because they are obsessing about what if this happens, what if this happens, what if that happens, oh, it's gonna cause all this stuff. Okay, then I'm not risking it. I'm going to just stay where I am, and I'm gonna figure it out. Another decade goes by, you know, worrying about the same thing and not moving forward because of the fear of what will happen if I make the next move this way. Yeah. And so we're busy, like you said, right? Like, we're busy with all of thinking about all of this stuff. Of course, I don't have time for anything else. I'm busy figuring out how to do this thing, but we're not actually doing it. We're just thinking about it. We're busy with this obsessive, future-oriented thoughts or something, yeah. Instead of like a present action, yeah.
I mean, what this is essentially telling me is that if I find myself in a period where I'm worrying a lot, it's probably indicating to me that I don't have actually enough on my plate of like things to go do.
Yeah.
And like I need to put those things on my plate, and I need to take those things seriously, because there's things that like of course
go do them, and then now you're busy.
And now I'm busy and
that,
I'm and the ones that I put on my plate for myself are very important, because let's say I have work on my plate. Well, if I'm not at work on the calls that I'm scheduled to be on, sending the emails at the time I need to send them, someone will be reaching out to me and saying, hey, where are you?
Somebody's holding you accountable.
But for the shit that I put on my own plate, I don't have any of that. And that's where the negotiation comes into place, and where those things start to slip off, and I start to become less rigorous about those as I am about work, even though I have time to do it, theoretically. But the more that I let myself off the hook there, the more now the thinking brain is going into like, well, like, what if this bad thing happens? And what if that bad thing happens? So it's like, I have to be the one to hold myself accountable. I have to be my own boss.
Or find yourself accountability buddy.
Put in a system of accountability, let's say. Yeah. However that is happening. But yeah, I'm seeing this as like a kind of a solution to the whole situation in some way.
Yeah, for sure. But somebody has to have the accountability assigned to them, right? Yeah. And if you cannot do it for yourself, then you need to seek out help from outside to say, hey, your accountability is to just make sure that I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, even apps can be accountability buddies and stuff, trackers. Like, so there's lots of different ways.
Calendar reminders and things like that, yeah, for sure.
I mean, like Jerry Seinfeld's was just like the calendar he had up that he put the red X every day that he wrote. So, I mean, yeah, there's lots of different ways to skin the cat.
Good deal.
Cool. Let's wrap it up. All right, we're wrapping it up. Thank you for joining today, and we will see you here tomorrow.